Good morning, YouTube. What's up? Today is February 4th, 2019. It is a Monday. Let's just dive right into and talk about the S&P 500 from last week's action and what we see this morning. So, last week's action, we had a pretty good run up. We had a push beyond the 200-day moving average, and we actually closed out at 270.06. When we look at pre-market today, now we are at a critical point. You know, we did fade off a little bit this morning. When we go back to the daily, you guys can see that from this pivot right here where we closed out at 270.06, you know, we have some support right here at 269. But I do see that the S&P 500, you know, if it doesn't hold the support, we could pull back a little bit lower. That's why I anticipate before we have another run up to the upside. Just something to keep in mind, you know, or we could actually continue running up. You know, futures are a little bit high today, but keep in mind that we are getting bought up. We are at a critical point right now in the S&P 500, so we may see a pullback today in today's market action. A lot of names out there right now are kind of on top and tails as well too. I didn't really see much on my scanners. Let's talk about the Dow Jones as well too real quick. Last week we saw a run up. Closed out green, but we did close out kind of somewhat on a topping tail. Doesn't really imply much since it's an index which compiles all, you know, most of the stocks in all the stocks in the Dow Jones. But you know, just something to keep in mind too. We got to a high of 251 and then we sold off and closed at 250. So depending on what stocks you guys plan on looking at today or trading, we may see a lot of opportunity, we may not see a lot of opportunity. But today just, you know, I really don't see much. Let's talk about some stocks on watch for today. So CRON right now, we hit a high of 21.79 on Friday, which was a good day, and then we sold off and we closed out green, but we closed out at $20.81. So this is a topping tail off the daily. We did have a nice little run up from back in, you know, back when it broke its base at 1556. And you know, it just had a straight run up, which was really nice because I got in here with 2,000 shares and I took it up from 15 all the way up to, you know, 18 bucks, selling along the way of course, but it's a really nice move. I kind of capped out some of my profit because I got out a little bit too early, but hey, green is good, right? So today I think we could actually pull back on this if you know, shares right now are trading a little bit on the upside, you know, higher pre-market. The stock is getting some value in pre-market. There is some news coming out February 19th. I think that's in anticipation for marijuana, you know, waiving laws. Just something to, you know, kind of keep in mind too. There's some news that don't know specifically, but you know, some news that's supposed to come out on February 19th. That's probably why there's implied buying right now happening in most of the marijuana sector. But it did close out at 20.81, so it looks like pre-market it has grinded up a little bit higher up to back to 21.55. It's holding those levels, so I think that will retest the all-time high from last week. We actually did pre-market. You know, this stock could actually continue to run up just a little bit more, but if our S&P 500 pulls back, we may see a pullback as well too. Keep in mind this is a $20 stock. You know, I really want to dump too heavy into it. It's not my strategy. But if we do start seeing this, you know, pull back, we could probably get short on it and take it for another buck or two down on the short side. All right, let's talk about another stock, Papa John's. So we had a sell-off all the way down to 38.29. The stock actually had really heavy buying pre-market this morning, shot all the way up to 43, and you know, currently it's sitting at 40.25 right now. So if our market continues to, you know, pull, we'll start seeing this fade off. We could probably get short on that. You know, once we break through this support right here, 40.10, 40.05, we actually can take this all the way down to 39. And we have, you know, really light support right here. Probably take it down another buck, you know. But I don't short. It is just something I see. Today's market, I really just like to sit and watch. And see if there's any opportunities that do come up on the open market. Right now, pre-market, I really don't see anything. And there really wasn't any news that came out over the weekend on any major names I watch on a regular basis. So just something that you guys could take, could watch as well too. This stock right now, you know, it's at 40, what did I say? 40.29. Well, currently it's at 40.29 now. If our S&P 500 continues to run, we could actually probably take this up for another buck or so. If we get some heavy buying, we'll probably go back to 43 and see if we can actually get a push. There is some resistance at 44, so keep that on watch. All right, let's talk about my strategy and the type of stocks that I like to trade. ATTU sold off hard on Friday, but it does have really good composite ratings according to Investors Business Daily. I do look at some of the fundamentals for some of the stock names I do trade. I always like to trade good names, simply because it gives me a peace of mind when you are buying into a company that has a really good name. You know, when the technicals go along with it too, you know, could really, you know, I like to buy stocks that are oversold. That's my strategy, contrarian approach. So I'm not really focused on capturing profits today, but we'll watch. If the S&P 500 pulls back, we could probably get this at a little lower price, probably around 21.17. You know, it did close out red. I probably see it going down to about 21.17 and then possibly catching a bounce back up. But we'll have to watch. You know, looking at the weekly chart as well too, it does have a topping tail, so that is something to keep in mind. And it may want to, for the next couple of weeks, fade off, maybe into next week. We may see some buying today, but midweek we might see some selling. You know, S&P 500 is up right now, so just keep that in mind. But if we start seeing some heavy volume come in and some buying, then I'll actually probably get long on this, and don't mind holding this stock for you know, two reasons. Why is because it sold off hard last Friday, and two, you know, it's the mean reversion rule of law. When something's overbought, it must be sold. You know, or you know, when something's oversold, it's then bought. So especially with the stock that has good fundamentals and institutional investors are looking at as well too, they're going to be looking for a cheap price to get in as well, especially in a uptrending market. So if you guys do get long on this, you know, just something to watch if you do want to take it for day trade. See if it fades off to 21.09 and then pivots back up. You could probably take it up for a 1 point move or 2 point move, or 1 point move. Sorry about that. And there's some resistance right here at 22.38. Just keep that in mind. If you do want to hold it, you can. But you know, if you're a day trader, you really want to hold anything. If you want to swing it, it's not something I really would swing. Just looking at the weekly chart. So I might take this for a day trade if we get some value. Hop in at 21 just for a reversal back up for a buck. You know, not something that I really go too heavy in, because I think it could actually fade off a little bit lower. So another stock that I've been watching, actually, this is the stock that I really like from last week and today's action. This is a small cap stock. It's not something that I really, you know, hop into and dive into so much, but I did like the way this chart looked. I did like the fundamentals on it. Get rid of this mark actually. All right, so we're looking at this stock right now. The stock closed out at 469. It sold off the majority of last week. And you guys can see that from October 31st leading up until, you know, last week, we really get a lot of, you know, respect to the 20-day moving average, this purple line right here, and it's never really broken beyond that. And if it has, you know, it hasn't done that since October 31st. So we're tapping it right here, and we had a really nice move to the upside, you know, touching the 20, kind of respected a little bit, and then we have another move to the upside. But here we are touching this 50-day moving average once again. And, you know, we can actually enter into this stock. My preferred entry would be to try and get this at $4.53 or $4.51 between here, and entry max will be $4.73. This stock is actually up pre-market. But if we do get in at the very low, you know, I would put my stop somewhere, you know, less than $1 away. You know, buy about 1,000, 2,000 shares into it. I don't mind holding this stock simply because it has really good fundamentals. And if I do get into it, I'm planning on taking about 8,000 shares of it. My first profit target for this stock will be this $5 mark. I really think that we can hit that by the end of this week today. Second profit target has a little bit high resistance above it at you know, this 20-day moving average 507, and then we have the 9-day off the daily at 517. But if we break beyond that, second profit target, I'd be looking to sell about 25% of my stake. I'll be selling at a second. And then third profit target, $5.50. I'll be looking to sell another 25% of my stake. And then the fourth profit target, I think that we'll definitely hit this within the next couple of weeks. give or take. I'm kind of leaving myself open to maybe a week or two to retest all the way back up to $6 or the all-time high of $5.98. Looking to take profit around $5.90. And the stock has actually had analyst price upgrades for it to the price of $11, or I believe it's there's some price targets for let's see, $9 actually. And I really don't mind holding this stock for a little bit, but I will sell about 80% of my stake at $6 and then leave the rest on the table. Their earnings are reporting March 6th, so I don't mind holding. Of course, for every single profit target we may have a pullback, I'll be reloading back into it and continuously riding this up until it gets back up to at least the retest of $6 or $5.98 all-time high. So something I do like. Fundamentals are on point. Small cap stock, if you can get in right here, it's a safe zone. I would preferably put my stop down here. If it hasn't broken through it since last October, I don't think it will break through it. It's actually up pre-market right now and may push. And it's a small cap stock, so I really don't think the overall market is really going to affect it too much. But people are watching this stock. It has gotten some good news on it lately. Has been performing well, throughout the last couple months. So I do like it. Another stock today I have on watch, maybe for a day trade perhaps, is McDonald's. Once again, I did trade this. Last week, last Thursday or last Wednesday, and I wrote it up from 176, sold at 181. About 600 shares, made a really good profit off of it. This morning it sold. Last Friday it sold off again, and it held above the the 100-day moving average. It closed above that. It is up pre-market right now, but keep in mind this is Dow Jones stock. Our S&P 500 is getting a little bit heated right now. We're at a critical point. I think we can actually get this stock. And going back to what I said at the beginning of this video, there are some stocks that closed out with the topping tail, as you saw. The last stock that I named, not the last stock, I think it was CRON. Yeah, CRON closed out with the topping tail. This week we closed out with the topping tail. I probably anticipated getting bought up just temporarily for a relief move, and then if our S&P 500 and our Dow Jones fades, you can probably pick this stock up around this area right here between 169 and 174. That's when I'd be looking to get in. Actually between 171 and 174. That's where I'd be looking to get in, to take this stock back up to 181, 182, and if it breaks beyond that all-time high, 181, 188, 189, we'll just ride it, be taking profits along the way. But for a day trade, do see it as a quick in and out. Just really want to watch the market for today. It's kind of it's just the one thing that really worries me a little bit when I'm trading a stock like McDonald's. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for you. All right. Happy trading. Good luck to all of you. If I do see anything, check the description. I'll be updating it.